Last week, 3 weeks ago, I did a talk, Freedom for All, and it was about using the power of the co-creative power of your word by means of your spoken word and your thinking word. And I tried as best I could to strike the message that says, you and I are always co-creating our lives. This sounds a little loud to me. Can we lower me just a tad? I can't even stand myself when I'm that loud. So that was that message 3 weeks ago. Last week, the message was get a prayer partner. And we met with a bunch of you in the back here, and a number of people did. So currently, either prior or as of last week, who now has a prayer partner? Okay, I'm going to keep going until I see a lot more hands up. Because it is not about the prayer. It is not about the words. It is not about what you think you're doing for someone else. It's about you, because you and I are the ones who change and transform when we put ourselves in that zone. When, at whatever level you are, if you're trying to understand this stuff, or you do understand it, or you are trying to believe it, and you're looking for evidence, or you're at the place of knowing. And anywhere along that line, you are the one that's becoming the transformative essence, not just for you, but for everyone around you. I want to make this point so definitely. Because when we do this, what happens is we transform our beingness, and one of the very first things that happen is that we stop being part of the problem. Now, when I say problem, that could be anything from we stop being part of the gossip, we stop being part of the complaining that is so toxic. And when you practice this for any amount of time, and those of you who have been here know that I asked you to commit to it for July and August. If you're here for the first time, start now. For the balance of, actually forever, but I'll just take the balance of the summer. Commit to no complaining and no gossip, and watch what happens in your life. Because very often it's not the extra things you do, but it's the things you stop doing. So we take away the toxicity of our languaging, and all of a sudden we find lots and lots of free energy. And so I love doing this alone. I love doing it in partnership, and I love doing it with my mastermind groups. And face it, I get to do this all the time. I get to do it on Sunday. I get to do it on Thursday night. I get to do it on classes. I get to do it when you call me. I get to hold that space, and I'm always touched. My life is always transformed the moment I begin a conversation with anyone who wants to have a conversation about consciousness. Now, I believe, stop me if I've told the story, and I do mean that, stop me. Did I tell you last Sunday about my neighbor upstairs? Did we talk about my neighbor? Or was that just on Thursday night? I don't have enough heads. I'm going to tell you again. Oh, we did? Okay. For those of you, because this is just it's a key example. We live in a small apartment complex. My fiancé is for those of you who don't know him already, he's extremely outgoing and friendly and available, much more than I am. I mean, just, it's great, but I'm just not usually that much like that. And so what happened was he started communicating and chatting up with one of our neighbors, the gentleman who lived upstairs. And he lived there a year before we did. And what happened was we found out, because we had I was going to say a bottle of wine, but we did. We had a bottle of wine with him and his girlfriend a couple of weeks ago. And what happened was he told us that in over the first year that he was there, that no one had ever spoken to him. Now, he's African American. So that was the assumption about why. I don't know. Was he walking in thinking no one will, so they didn't? I don't know what the cause was. I don't know. But what happened was he said to us, thank God you guys moved in. And then what happened was after that, they went to Costa Rica. He and his girlfriend went to Costa Rica for a week, and while they were gone, his mother was staying upstairs with his teenager. So he was able to call me and say, could you run upstairs? My mother's having trouble with the air conditioning. Now, all of that because Neil said hello. So even if you heard it again, I want you to hear it again, because someone said hello, and then we continued to say hello. That's all it takes. We are not here to try to, break down doors and walk around with suitcases. But we are here to be in the beingness and to be in that beingness as much as we can. So what has happened, though, in life very often, and I'm not so sure why this has happened, but many of us have allowed ourselves to be conditioned out of believing in ourselves. So I want to tell you a story that maybe you've read this. It's been on Facebook and a variety of other places. It is a story, it was an experiment about these monkeys. And so this gentleman had 5 monkeys in a large cage. And he took a bunch of bananas and he put the bananas very high out of their reach. And what happened was, this isn't very kind. Oh, there's the banana. This is not very kind, but when one of the monkeys decided to climb up the ladder to go for that banana, he sprayed them down with cold water, but then sprayed all of the other monkeys at the same time. So clearly the monkey came down off the ladder and was like, whoa, I'm not doing that again. But then what happened was another monkey said, couldn't resist the temptation, even though the other monkeys witnessed this. The other monkey went up to grab the banana. And again, he sprayed them all, the first one and then all of them. So they all equally suffered for him going for this banana. Then what happened was, slowly, he took that first monkey out of the... Wait, let me get this right. I think, he did this. Even a third monkey went up. That's what happened. A third monkey went up, and he did it again. Now he removed one of these monkeys who has been traumatized by this behavior out of the cage and replaced it with a monkey who had never seen this. Now this new monkey sees the bananas and goes, oh, bananas! Climbs up the ladder to get the bananas, and what do you think happened? All the monkeys attacked him, because he was reaching for the bananas and they thought they were going to suffer because of what he was going to do. Okay? He did that till all the monkeys were replaced. All the monkeys started to control each other, and they all stopped reaching for the bananas. Now, I don't know about you, but I was born into a family that wasn't all that ambitious. There was not a lot of conversation about possibility and faith. Now, and maybe you were, and if you were in a good old Christian household, it's very possible that you had a lot of that. I did not. I didn't have the Christian upbringing to undo, but I also didn't have the Christian upbringing to support me. You understand? There's both sides of that. And so I was not exposed to the idea of possibility. My family didn't take risks. They didn't take risks. They didn't try to do something. There was no, I'll try and I don't care if I fail. There was, I'm not trying because I'm not failing. Status quo and mediocrity was our way of being. Are you with me? Now, your specific family may not, but I'm fully aware that many of us have had this experience in our lives. And I've seen this, and I know how I know, because I'm in the classroom with you all. I listen. And I know that many of us have not touched that place inside of us where we really believe that even if we haven't had the experience, that we'll find something inside of us that just says, I'm going to do it anyway. That place of confidence that is bigger than the limitations. So there's also, I don't know if you know this, that when they train elephants, when they're little, They're constantly taking a rope, tying it around the rope, the foot of the elephant, tying it to a stake. Now, when they're little, that rope is big enough to contain and control that elephant. But as they grow, the elephant has learned rope, stake, can't move. Now, as it gets bigger, much bigger as you know, it does not begin to rethink. It still thinks that single rope will keep it contained, so it doesn't try. How many times have you not questioned what was your conditioning? How many times have you thought what was is, and that's what's going to be? Are you with me? It is imperative that you and I, in the most unreasonable way, want for more. I know want is not the word that metaphysicians like to use because it's outside of ourselves. I get that. Just bear with me for the moment. But if we do not allow our sense of desire to burn away the resistance and the conditioning, we're going to stay put. And that we're not here, you and I are not here for status quo. You and I are not here to not make a difference in the world. We're not here for that. I get many online newsletters. I'm not so sure where this story came from, but it was a video blog about Haiti. Now, Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the northern hemisphere. I've been there, I've seen it. It's pretty poor. And there was this whole video blog about this small community of women that their job specifically, you'll appreciate this with what you do with outreach, their job is to make these kind of like patties. That they make these patties, and then they go and they dry them in the sun, actually on a local basketball field. They put down something and they lay these patties on this basketball field, and then when they dry, they serve them up to be eaten. You know what the patties are made from? Dirt, earth. They don't have anything else. If they're lucky, they on occasion will put a handful of salt or a handful of sugar when they can get that. So you have this entire community, one of the poor, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the town right now. I did know it, but I'm just not remembering right now. Sorry? Yeah. So this community, being one of the poorest in Haiti, eats earth to live by. How healthy do you think they are? And yet, as a community, they are there to support each other. But I could not see that video blog without thinking, oh my God, we have to. No, I don't mean we. I'm not going to ask you to go to Haiti. Although I'd love to. I'd love to say to you, come on, let's go. Let's get our money together and let's go. Let's make a difference. Let's provide some education. Let's do something. Point is, there are entire communities that even at the poorest of poor, they are leaning on each other. I believe in the power of numbers. I believe in leaning on each other, which is why this Partners in Possibility today is about you identifying who is your posse. That's a term we like to use, or I like to use around here. The posse means who is your support system. Who is your posse? Not who are your drinking buddies. That's good too. That's fun. Who are the people you like to go to the movies with? That's okay too. That's all great. But who's your spiritual posse? Who are the ones that when you look at them, they're going to look back at you knowing your truth? You must identify your posse. So what they did a number of years ago, they being home office, the Center for Spiritual Living home office, because there are so many states and areas where we have no communities, no spiritual communities like this. So they started this thing called spiritual living circles. So what they do is that if you register for the spiritual living circle, they will send you have to buy the Science of Mind magazine, I believe, and they will send you every month materials for the spiritual living circles. They will give you talking points. So what you do is you bring around, 5, 10, however many of your friends who want to participate in a high-level conversation, and you discuss the talking points that are out of they're reflective off of the articles in the magazine. And you just sit and you connect spiritually. Now, you all are lucky, and I know you're lucky because you're sitting here, because obviously we are within your reach. And around here, if you don't want to go here, you can go to Morristown, you can go to Rockland, you can go to Quakertown. So we're fortunate. But there are areas in this country where people are not as fortunate. And you might have a relative who used to live here and moved away. And I know we know people who are currently, there's like actually 450, 500 of these circles all over the country right now. And one of them is right down in Red Bank. So we, very often if I meet somebody who lives in that area, I keep, pushing them toward that living circle. But you can do this even while being here in this community. Why? Because you need to exercise your spiritual muscles. And we exercise the spiritual muscles by all of our spiritual practices, by being in the practice every single day. Sounds like a lot of work, huh? You feel like, oh God, I'm out of here? Not if you want your life to transform. So we've been making some changes, and we're going to be making more leadership changes around here. And in preparation for this leadership change the other day, I put together what I believe is a mission statement that I can live with. And so this will have to be put before the community. And I have about 50 of them here, so you're welcome to one before you leave, if you are interested. And I want to see if you can live with each statement of this mission statement. Is that good? Can we do that? Okay. Through the study of the science of mind and additional ancient wisdom, CSL&J is a place where individuals come to be loved, seen, and honored and empowered to transform their own lives, and then to support others in doing the same. I'll read it again. Through the science of mind and additional ancient wisdom, CSL&J is a place where individuals come to be loved, seen, honored, and empowered to transform their own lives, and then to support others in doing the same. Does that work for you? A little more enthusiasm would be good if it's a yes. Just in case. If you don't like it, let me know too. But that makes sense, right? That's who we are? Okay. We are here to bring skills and tools to all who walk in the door, who are willing to do the work, to be spiritually plugged in and strengthened by this teaching. Does that work? Yes. Okay. The centers here, now I'm going to name a bunch of values. I want to make sure that each of these values resonate with you. The centers here to walk the talk of living values such as honesty. Not too much enthusiasm on the honesty? Do you agree with honesty? Yes. Okay. I'm looking around. I'm like, wait a minute. Integrity. Yes. Compassion. Yes. Faith. Yes. Love. Yes. Transparency. Yes. Authenticity. Yes. Okay. We are here to be a stand for inclusivity, openness, and welcome to all as we support our organization's vision in creating a world that works for everyone. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I believe that this succinctly, as it might not sound succinctly, but as succinctly as I could possibly put it, speaks about who we are as a community. I believe that if you are in agreement with any of these values or any of these statements, that if you take this home, you hang this up, and you reflect upon it, it will guide the decisions that you make in your life at all times. We talked on Thursday night, because that book that Patricia read from, it's so great because we are studying it with our mastermind group. It's the book of the month. It's here on Sunday, and I've been really, just diving into that very little book. And what he says that at the end of the book that he has hidden some jewels of wisdom throughout the book that he didn't highlight, and it's our job to find them. Well, I think that that's what happens here. I think that some of the things that are critical appear hidden because we don't fuss over them too much. This event that just happened in Louisiana, the events that happen like that anywhere, those events are made possible because of people who are wounded. Wounded people hurt people. So we're not here just to try to be highfalutin metaphysicians by making a ton of money and be able to repeat some kind of creed. We are here to be the change. Because if we each do not heal that which is within, that is what we carry out into the world. So if these values are things that matter to us that you can agree with, you will do things like you will clean up your own inner dialogue. And if you really need to, you'll go direct to someone to have a conversation. So I'm very aware, and so I'm here to confess something to you. I'm aware that there's disagreement and there's some upset within the community about the decision to charge for spiritual mind treatment. I'm aware that there's upset and reaction. Please don't blame anybody but me. I did that. And if you have any challenge or question or need explanation, come see me. I promise I do not bite. I will sit and talk to you and listen to you and receive whatever it is that you need to hear. But understand, we are teaching people how to value this teaching. Somebody just yesterday, Mary Carney, is she in the room? Okay. Mary Carney sat yesterday telling me, she's going to tell you, that's why I can report this. This is not a secret. Telling me about the time she used one treatment from Chris Ferraro to heal a gallbladder. One treatment. Tell me that does not have value. Now that's one story of dozens. When you get prayer from Patricia Johnson today, if you stay around, you look for prayer following service, I'm not expecting you, I'm not asking you to put $50 or $100 in the basket. I'm looking for an energetic exchange. It could be $1. But we need to all agree that what we have here has value. But if you don't like it and you really think I'm out of my mind, come see me. The practitioners didn't do it, the board members didn't do it, it's me. I own it, I'm responsible for it, and I'm willing to talk to you about it. Now show me communities where you have people who say, come talk to me. I don't mean other religious science communities. Imagine a community where you could always go direct, whether it's to the one standing up front or to each other, where through love, through the practice of love and compassion, you hear each other. Sense that. Get a sense of the value of how safe you get to feel in the world. So, create partnerships within this community or outside if you have other people that you know and you trust. Get a posse. Gather with them once a month. And I have suggestions of books that I think you could discuss, even more than the Science of Mind magazine. Things like Living the Science of Mind, How to Use the Science of Mind, this thing called You. There's so many documents that I can recommend. The most beautiful of Ernest Holmes' works that you can sit and talk about and figure out and argue about if you want to bring it alive. But your job is to keep it alive in your life, in your house, in your relationships, on your job, wherever you go, so that you're partnering with anyone around you who's available for good. Yes? Okay. I'm going to treat in a minute. Remember to come up here for these if you want one. And if you will, hold the hand of someone next to you as we put this into consciousness. So what I know right here and now is that there's a movement of mind, there's a movement of heart, of possibility. It is beautiful. It is extraordinary, because it is who you are right there in that seat where you're sitting with your feet upon the floor, with the hand that you're holding, right there in the middle of you, at a cellular level, is all of your beauty and your strength, is all of your wisdom. You have every single thing it takes to walk this earth, being the transformation of this world. You have everything. I have everything. There's no place to go. There's nothing to acquire that is outside. We each have within us all the skills and the beauty and the wisdom and the love and the compassion. It is all contained. There is no outside. There is no otherness. There is just spirit as you, beautiful and whole and magnificent in every way possible. I believe in you. I believe in you walking this earth, being the change, being possibility. The world is a better place because you are in it. Let us feel the confidence of this truth, and the beauty of this truth, and the strength of this truth. Let us feel it now. Take a deep breath, if you will. Release it into the room. Take another breath. Connect with bountiful gratitude for who you are, for the presence of God as you. I am so incredibly grateful. So I surrender this word to law, to awe, and to love. And so it is.